Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live
Hard Knocks recap.
recap and Q&A. It is episode 200.
I have done 200 episodes with you, Poupard.
200.
Well, they're not all 200 days because some we've done multiple episodes per day. So
I don't think we've skipped a day yet since we started, though.
no, we've skipped a day.
Oh, we have?
Yeah, we've skipped a day. We've skipped multiple days, but it's all good. Nobody notices. It's
Okay.
the grind. The grind don't stop. We got 65 people in here right now, which is I'm amazed. You know what I've learned from my best friend who is a 5 Reasons addict? He says that people don't want to relive misery, which is why they don't come after losses.
Although we had a lot of people on the live show after the game against KC.
Ridiculous amount of people, and I think we did like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that, which we're here. As long as you're here, we're here, and we're thankful for the 98 people who are here now. Thank you for joining us. We'll not only just use this as a recap, but we'll do this as a question and answer period for what Chris Grier said, what Mike McDaniel said at the end of the year press conference. And honestly, I have not really shared my thoughts on a lot of those subjects, even though we've done 2 podcasts since. This is the unfiltered episode. So
get as opposed to usually it's filtered, really? We didn't know we did filtered shows.
It's not, but some things that were said on that Monday recap, I've had to do some research, call around, ask some friends, recalibrate some thought processes, and do a little bit of reporting, because you don't want to. I generally don't want to have knee-jerk reactions to things. People have to understand, and this is what really pissed me off today. I'm pissed off today. Everybody in the Twitter sphere and podcast world and Dolphin fans, they think they're capologists and cap gurus because they know how to log on to Over the Cap and whatever what's the other one?
Track or Spot Rack. Right.
Spot Rack, yeah. Do you know how complicated this is?
Yes, I do.
And I've spent 15 years. Our peers in the NFL, they come to me to do their numbers and crunch their numbers, and I analyze and know how to read the books. I'm telling you, if it wasn't an issue, I wouldn't have brought it up last offseason when I said, they're heading into a cap crisis and apocalypse. And yeah, you can get yourself out of it, but all you're doing is just using another credit card to pay off the credit card that you already owe, and you're going to still owe the credit card down the line. And as we've consistently said throughout the NFL, when you start paying a quarterback money, it gets hard. You are eating ramen noodles on your roster. You're eating ramen noodles, beans and Wheaties, beans and Wheaties, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and which is why I offer him a multi-year contract. I give him the Christian Wilkins deal where
who are we talking about now? We're talking about Tua?
Anyway.
I don't know. You said that we offer him the contract. Who are you talking about?
After him a multi-year contract, I give him the Christian
Wilkins. Who are you talking
deal.
about?
Tua, yes. I offer him a contract. I give him the Christian Wilkins deal where you're getting 70 cents on the dollar for what your market is. If you take it, you take it. If you don't, play on your 5th-year option. But anyway, that's not the subject and conversation that we're talking about now. But I wrote a column on alldolphins.com that you can find that sort of, and you took issue with it because I said that this is Chris Grier's fault. And if it goes bad, it will be Chris Grier's head. And that's just where I stand. You can't ask Steve Ross to write big fat checks to run it back another year. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, can you let me say what I took issue with? I took issue with. I don't know that it's Chris Grier who's the single decision maker who pulled the trigger on all those.
He's
moves.
not the single decision maker, but who's in charge? Who is the head man in charge?
I'm not sure.
You don't know?
Their power structure has been nebulous for the past. Come on, you know Chris Grier.
Since 2019, Chris Grier has been the man put in charge. He is responsible for everything. And there's no wiggle room about it.
Yeah. Who's responsible? Who was the driving force behind Noah Benogany draft pick? Was it Chris Grier?
Okay, I said since 2000. Okay,
that was 2020.
It was Brian Flores.
My point is, Chris Grier has been around for a very, very long time, and one of the reasons, number one, is Steve Ross is very loyal to him. Number two is he plays well with others, for lack of a better term. And I think,
but Chris Grier has said to me, "These are my draft picks. They're nobody else."
Correct, because again, it's about not doing this if it goes south. I don't know. The Dolphins' power structure has been nebulous for a while, unlike other franchises where it's crystal clear who the main decision maker is.
One head left to roll. That's all I'll say.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's get into this Hard Knocks episode. I thought it was a poor episode. Kind of. I got the structure. It started off with the playoff montage and the drone shot of the team getting into the hotel. I tell people all the time. I told my son this. You want to make some money in this world? Learn how to fly camera drones, because that's a business right there. And it uses joy. If you're a video game player, it's basically the same thing. Your son, that might be a good career for your son there too. I know he's making computer graphics.
He's in the background here, and he just smiled and waved. So.
Yeah, drone flying, camera drone flying. Oh my God, that's such a big business. I know this because when we were in the world, when I was in the producing world, like you had to pay $500 for a drone shot. But I like certain elements of I like the cinematography, setting up the first game, setting up the playoff game. I like the Taylor Swift moments and scenes and episodes. I like that thing that her swag surfing. There is a video I have on social media where they put the music to it, and that's what she's doing. She's swag surfing. And
I never heard that term. Full disclosure, I'd never heard that term before this past weekend.
Really?
Dude, look at me. Are you really shocked that I'd never heard of
it's at every sporting event. That song is like 20 years old. It's an urban classic song, and and it's become like the sports song where they take it and swag. It's a dance that you do where the whole crowd sways together.
Like rolling with the homies.
You did not say rolling with the homies. What movie is that? Clueless. Yes, that is an excellent movie. Excellent movie.
It was.
It had a huge crush on Stacey Dash. Until I learned she was a cuckoo bird. Yeah. What was I gonna say to you? I just didn't like the episode. Didn't like so many different elements about it. The one thing I did like about it is that it showed how injured a lot of those guys were going into that game. And Raheem, Waddle. I mean, you're watching Waddle practice and you're watching him limp around, which is cool. I don't know what he did to. No, you didn't.
No, the one guy I noticed limping noticeably in the footage that we saw tonight was Tyreek. I did like the part where McDaniel's telling him, "Okay, I've seen enough. You're good. Shut it down. Shut it down." He did that with Mostert.
No. Waddle was limping way more than Tyreek was limping.
Not in the shots I saw tonight.
Oh yeah. If you paid
attention. What were you watching?
What were you watching? You know, Waddle is.
I was watching
17, not 10. I did hear him say, "Shut it down." Like, come on, those guys. All right, they're out there, they're playing, but come on, it is what it is. And I never knew. You remember? we were there when they were having that conversation about the race, and we knew they were talking about something, but we couldn't figure out what they were talking about.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Funny. That was good.
We were watching, we were like, what's this powwow about?
Yeah.
But just to now get the inner dialogue about it. And Drew saying, hey, we got to get Ethan Bonner in this thing here.
I didn't even catch that.
Oh yeah, Drew said we got to get Ethan Bonner in here. And it's true. They have those shirts that tell you basically what mile per hour you run based on what kind of car you get. So Ethan's in that super fast club.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like you, and I saw a couple of the comments saying, "What are you talking about? It was a fantastic episode." Yeah, I found it kind of meh.
Comments? You guys thought it was fantastic? Please tell me why you thought it was fantastic.
Laura was like, "What are you guys crazy? That was a fantastic episode." It was kind of meh. They touch on a lot of different things that the newsy stuff with the 3 veterans signing, Reed Houston and Irvin. Yeah. The Melvin Ingram stuff was actually pretty funny. I'm not sure about the scene at the restaurant with his buddy from college.
Melvin Ingram dinner. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that was weird. That was like, okay.
You couldn't even go out to dinner with another teammate. Like, that was so staged. Anyway,
but time out though. To me, what I didn't like about it is it's a generic conversation with a buddy from college. Why? But in terms of the conversation flowing, to me, it was a lot better than the dinner with the safeties that we got a few episodes ago.
It was better than the offensive line dinner. But all the dinners have been staged. We know they're staged. Let it be. Let the conversation.
See, but that one actually, the conversation was good. It was just the fact that, no offense, why do we need to see Melvin Ingram with his college buddy? That's the thing to me that was weird, especially since there were other stuff. There was other things about Melvin Ingram which were better. I did like the part where they're preparing for the flight, takeoff, landing, and all the while you got in the air tonight playing. And of course, with the crescendo, with the the big drum.
Hold on. Here's another thing from my production experience. That was a shot done a long time ago. That was not the one in the car and where they're showing the hard knocks.
Oh yeah. They never show what they're looking at. I mean, I didn't get the point of that particular stretch.
It was just a great cinematography moment. When you do those things, the cameraman, they have their moment, they create their scenes, they create their visuals, and they advocate. They want those great camera moments, and that was the great camera montage, and that was it. And it was a great camera montage. But I hate the air of the night. I love the song. Hate the overuse of it in sports. But I will say this. They intertwined it a lot with the breathing in the stadium and
the smoke,
the steam, and cool. and you hear, and I did love how they sewed in from the beginning to the end. Everybody just talking about how goddamn cold it was and how they were freezing and how it was such an unbearable. I love Stoodsville saying that, hey, that's just painted dirt on that field. It's going to be rock hard and frozen. So, don't think it's grass. It's painted dirt. And I was just like, that is so dope for a coach to say that, because people don't realize the adverse situations and circumstances that these players have to go through in order to entertain them in a $19 billion business. I actually looked it up today.
Omar, again, and I've heard you mention that before. I get it. They got. It sucks that they had to play that game in such ridiculous weather. Whose fault is it that there was an Arctic front coming down from the North Pole on that particular weekend in Kansas City? I mean, that's a bad break. And I've heard you say this because I've heard you or maybe on Twitter you put it, or on one of your QAM spots that you were bitching about why did they have to get the Saturday night game? It was colder on Sunday afternoon. So can we stop with that already?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I mean,
but still, I didn't. I mean, come on. You played the Sunday night game, and then you got to play the Saturday. Come on. So whoever plays the Sunday night game, they got to play the Sunday. They got to play the Sunday. They get 6 days. Like they're not even on equal playing field in terms of the Chiefs and
what? Chiefs played Sunday just like the Dolphins. It's just the Dolphins played at night.
Okay, so that's what a
7-hour
difference.
It's a 3 hour. The 3 hour difference is why the Chiefs won the game. The 3 hour more is a preparation.
The Chiefs. Okay, so Chiefs played at 4.
Sorry, 4 hours. That the 4 hour difference in preparation is why the Chiefs won. Are we really going there?
No, we're not going there. I withdraw my state. I withdraw my dispute over poorly timed games.
And by the way,
and I was told it was about Peacock getting the Taylor Swift game.
Well, duh. Chiefs were always going to be the Saturday night game. I mean, that's like.
Boy, her jacket. Did you know that jacket was made by an NFL player's wife?
Do you know who? Come on. Impress me.
What's her name? Fullback?
Yes, very good.
Can't say his name.
Kyle Juszczyk, 49ers. His
Boy,
wife.
she is super talented. I looked at her Instagram and looked at some of her other stuff. NFL needs to go in business with her because she is killing the game.
Okay, and by the way, the point I was going to make, if you saw Mike McDaniel walking up and down the sideline in the second half, we can't do shit, man. And then you got
I shared that.
You got Jalen Waddle on the bench talking about how like the defense is doing their part. We're not doing anything. This 7 points is ridiculous and all that. And they're not talking about like, wow, I wish I could. I mean, they were like they weren't getting it done. I did like the post game locker room. That was good. McDaniel's speech was very good.
Was he crying or no?
He was getting choked up. I don't know if I saw tears, but he was getting choked up. And then Wilkins. Wilkins' speech to his teammates. Love you guys. Best year, most fun year in my NFL career so far. Too bad I won't be around next year. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, he will.
Yeah, no, that was a speech like I'm gonna be around next year.
He's gonna be around next year.
He knows he's getting tagged. Come on, let's be real about it.
We're not letting him go.
Yeah.
And although since we're talking about Christian Wilkins, somebody brought up the point of since certain people, including those who wear Montreal Expos hat, have made the point that the quarterback has not stepped up in big games. Somebody, well, what about Christian Wilkins? And to some degree, there is something to that. I will say, however, he made the biggest defensive play of the game against Buffalo with the sack, strip, and fumble recovery.
Yeah, that was a big game. And that was the biggest play of the big game.
Right.
What do you want him to do? He made the biggest play of the big game.
Correct. But
outside of the roughing the passer, which was just a dumb play. I don't have an issue with Christian in anything that he did. I thought he had a phenomenal season. I think he's worth $100 million. And consider where I'm coming from, where I thought he was worth maybe 17 last offseason.
Yep.
17 a year. You go get your money, brother. You've done exactly what you needed to do to silence the critics and show that you're an elite defensive tackle in the NFL. And in fact, you've had a better tenure with the Miami Dolphins than Ndamukong Suh did. So go get your money.
What? I'm looking at our friends. Again, I don't even know if I should know this by now. If it's Spotrac or Spotrac, they have his calculated market value at a $20.2 million average annual salary.
Okay, 5 years, 20.2.
They have 4 years, 80.9.
No, sorry. He's probably not going to sign anything less than a 5-year deal. So 5 years, 100 mil, brother. I'm telling you, he ain't signing for less than 100 mil. Christian's a kind of guy where what my peers got, I'm going to get, which is why he wasn't going to sign.
I agree, but if you look at I know you're talking 5 years, but all of the guys last year, unless I'm massively mistaken, yes. Jeffrey Simmons, Quinnen Williams, Daron Payne, Jerron Hargrave, I forget, all those guys got 4-year deals.
I don't think you're right, but I'll look right now. because I've broken down. Now all of their real money is only 3 years guaranteed. So I'm not going to argue with you on that.
But no, but I'm saying they were all 4-year deals. You can look it up all you want, but
yeah, no. One I'm looking at right now, 5-year deal for Jeffrey Simmons. All of them got 5-year deals, but they're fake. Hold on. They're all fake deals. I'm not even gonna. They're all only 3 years real money, but all of them got 5-year deals, 4-year extensions, but 5 years.
Quinnen Williams 4-year. Hold on, Quinnen Williams 4-year deal.
Quinnen Williams is a 5-year deal from 2023 to 2027, 2 voidable years.
It was
5 years,
an extension.
Huh?
It was an extension. He got 4 more years.
I don't. Whether it's an extension or not, your contract is the duration of your deal. From 2025, when the deal started, which is where the signing bonus hits. It's a 5-year deal, 2023 to 2027.
Omar, I'm looking right here. I don't know why.
There is no 4-year extension for Christian. He's not.
Quinnen Williams signed a 4-year 32. What? Which one is this one?
All right.
Okay, I'm telling you, they're 4-year deals. NFL.com. Quinnen Williams agrees to terms on a 4-year.
And look at the deal, and look at what the money is, and there's 5 years on the deal, including.
It's an extension. He had 1 year left. Jesus Christ, why are you not understanding this?
And exactly, and that 2023 year counts, Poupard. It's a 5-year, $105 million.
If he's already signed for 2023, and I give you four more years, that's a 4-year contract extension.
And you're not getting it, but that's okay.
You're not getting it, and that's okay too.
All right,
what we have here is a failure to communicate.
All you're counting is new money. I'm counting what you're getting paid from the duration when the deal begins, and if you're getting paid. If you signed a 4-year extension and if you signed a 4-year extension, you're still on a 5-year deal, and 3 years of the deal is guaranteed.
No, you got a 4-year extension on your current deal. It's not a 5-year deal. Okay, whatever. I don't think anybody wants to hear this crap. Let's move on to something else. Anything else stand out from the show? I guess it was cute when the new linebackers walk into the meeting room, and Melvin Ingram's telling Bobby Slowick,
you got something to teach. Yeah,
exactly. We could teach something.
We could probably teach you something, and I'm sure they can. 285.5 career sacks. They could teach him plenty.
Correct. I'm looking at my notes here, and then there really wasn't a whole lot that stands out. It was so much about the weather, new guys. Taylor Swift and
I like the speech. I like McDaniel's speech. I really thought that they showed really how injured a lot of those guys were, and I thought that was important just because there are certain people who think, oh, they played, they're fine. No, they weren't fine.
And I never said that. And there's some people who are like, well, injuries, that's why they lost. Only reason.
No, the roster, right? So Hard Knocks addressed it. The roster was watered down because of injuries. It is what it is.
And it was watered down on defense, and you even have
it was watered down on offense too. Don't do that.
Hold on. You even had Raheem Mostert's wife saying, "We got everybody on offense." So,
okay, that's yeah.
Don't poo-poo it. They had
Mostert's wife is the ultimate evaluator of whether or not her husband and his brethren are healthy. Like, come on, Waddle was not Waddle in that game. Like, do you think that the Kansas City actually said, "Oh man, we got to fear Jalen Waddle. We got to back up and give him 7 yards"? Like, no, nobody cares about.
I would say something obnoxious to that, but I'm not going to. But you would do me a great favor, and I think it would do yourself a really good favor too, if you stop excusing the bad offensive performance.
Mike said
relating it strictly to everybody was hurt.
No, they couldn't do shit. They didn't have nothing to do shit with. Who is going to make a play?
Exasperating.
Tell me, who's going to make a play?
Are we going to start with that? Last I checked, Tyreek Hill had a 53-yard touchdown, or maybe I didn't see that. He also had another play where
he also got his face beat in for about 20 to 30 of those plays.
What's that have to do with anything other than Casey playing physically? Okay. Because that's how you play. That's how you need to play Tyreek, and how
And if he can't get off the jam because he can barely move his ankles, cool. And yeah, Tyreek scored a touchdown because Tyreek is a freak of nature. But are we going to pretend like Mostert and Jalen Waddle are Tyreek? Is that what we're going to do?
And they shouldn't. If you're going to keep giving me with that crap with the injury excuses, because it's aggravating the absolute living hell out of me. And I know you're enjoying.
Oh, well, because I believe it. Were they healthy? No,
they were not 100%. Okay, we're gonna now. You know what? Let's call my buddy Joshua Briscoe, bring him on the show, and ask him how many Chiefs players were playing at less than 100%. Because you actually think the Dolphins were the only teams who had players in the game who were playing it less than full capacity. So can we stop with this? If Raheem, and I said it before, if Raheem Mostert's injury was preventing him from being effective, then he shouldn't have played. If he was out there, it's because Mike McDaniel thought he was productive.
I'm not arguing with you. He probably shouldn't have played. Not arguing with you. Raheem Mostert, 8 carries for 33 yards.
Was there one carry during the game where you thought to yourself, "Oh man, he doesn't look right"?
There was no carry where I thought to myself, "Oh man, he looks like Raheem Mostert."
Or could it be that maybe he didn't have any holes to run through or very limited holes?
All right.
I mean, come on. You're going to tell me Devon Achane, who had rushed for – hold on. Devon Achane, who had rushed for pretty good numbers against Buffalo in the first half, all of a sudden –
6 for 9 yards?
Yeah, he couldn't do crap because – was it maybe because the Chiefs sniffed out every play that they had called for him?
Maybe. I don't – maybe.
Okay. I mean, again, it's like –
I mean, nobody showed up. Nobody played well. My point is, they played. Should they have all played? Probably not. But it's cool. They played. They were on the field. Great. Thumbs up. Like, okay. Like,
if you want to give me the defense was handcuffed because of all the guys that were missing, fine. They will get the guys weren't out there. Sorry,
defense sucked.
Kept them in the game. And actually played a lot better than the offense did. So
you're right.
Okay.
They still sucked, but the offense sucked worse.
I don't know if the defense sucked.
Rookie had 100 and something yards on them. Pacheco was unstoppable. Like Patrick Mahomes, what did he do?
Pacheco was unstoppable. Did he average 4 yards per carry?
3.7, 89 yards. He also. I'm
sorry. What's the average again?
He got 89 yards. He averaged 3.7 yards per carry.
Guess what? That's below NFL average.
Okay, still ran for 147 yards.
Because they ran the ball a lot because the Dolphin offense kept giving him the ball. I mean, you're not going to tell me
Okay, that's true. That's fair. They did 34 carries.
That's a lot of carries. And the Dolphins don't carry the ball 34 times unless they're winning 70-20 against Denver. And, the game becomes a clown show in the second half.
All right.
Let's address some of these questions here. William Hall. Thank you, William. The Dolphins would say their training staff is the best in the league. Facts and results would indicate otherwise. Tua had to go outside to fix it.
Come on. Tua had to go outside to learn jiu-jitsu, to learn. They weren't fixing anything. They were teaching him how to fall without having his head hit the ground, how to absorb contact. You think a training staff teaches you how to do that? That's like, please, people stop.
And the jiu-jitsu, to me, they're the most overrated story of 2023 for the Dolphins is Tua in the jiu-jitsu classes. The reason he didn't get hurt and avoided the injuries is number one is he got rid of the ball and gave up on plays a lot more than he used to. Number two, he went down on sacks instead of taking on tacklers. Number three, he got a lot thicker, stronger. I mean, his legs were pretty big.
He's thick ones now.
He's very thick, except it's affecting his mobility. He does not move. And for anybody who's telling me, like Rex Ryan from ESPN is coming out, well, if I was the Dolphins, I'd really examine this hip issue because maybe that's a concern. And I'm like, BS, because the game, and I want to go look back again if you want to argue with my point. The game where Tua maneuvered the best in the open field scrambling, to me, by far, was Arizona, and that's his second start in the NFL in 2020. So the idea that 4 years later, now like the hip is an issue, give me a break.
He can scramble. It's not part of his game. And he showed you he can scramble against Kansas City. It's not part of his game.
Chad Henne can scramble.
Wow, you brought up Chad Henne. Damn. I don't want him scrambling. I don't want my quarterback scrambling. I'm sorry. Yes, okay. Broken plays, improvised plays. That's cool. Okay, run more play action if you want to do that. Run more bootlegs, naked boots if you want to do that. That's not his game. It's just not. That I watched CJ Stroud and everybody, like some of his biggest plays are naked or bootlegs. And if you want to run that offense, cool. Bootlegs, move them out the pocket. It's split half field. Your either or passes. That's not to his game because he doesn't need to play that game. But if you
but at times it would help if he had that in his arsenal.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. They used that against Buffalo. They used that approach against Buffalo, and it was working a little bit. But then they abandoned it. I'm about that I formation life, that pistol life, that RPO life. It's just not what they want to do. It's
My overriding point in all of this though was that Tua, before he got thick, and clearly he's gotten a lot
thick. He's just thicker.
He's a lot thicker.
He's a lot thicker.
There was a time when he actually could juke people in the open field. And I point back again to that Arizona game where now he's got at best functional mobility. And at times it would be nice if he had more.
I thought about this. I thought about this today. I don't know where I was, but I was like, people are still just absolutely inundating me with these. What's the Chicago Bears quarterback name again?
Justin Fields.
Oh my God, Justin Fields.
By heart by now.
Yeah, there is a Dolphins hard-on for Justin Fields. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you folks are obsessed about him because he's athletic, he's got a big arm, and he's got a little size to him. Okay, cool. I can understand that. But all of those, I would rather my quarterback be accurate, be able to diagnose defenses, and have pocket presence. Justin Fields doesn't have any of those three. And that's where I start with my quarterbacks. Accuracy, pocket presence, ability to read and diagnose defenses. Like, okay, it would be nice if they had cannon arm and scrambling athletic ability, but how often do quarterbacks have all five? Like, what are they, 4 in the league right now? So, it is what it is. Smart, intelligence, leadership, but hey, if Justin Fields is what you folks want, let's make it happen, baby. Let's do this.
I'll give you another one. I saw. This is from a story in The Athletic, and this is quoting NFL execs, obviously requesting anonymity, and as Omar proceeds to give me the look of like disbelief, like I haven't even said what they're about to say, and you're already like,
I already know that type of story. Go ahead.
Ready to dismiss it.
Go ahead.
One of them, the suggestion was, and again, that's not me saying I haven't evaluated yet the whole situation beyond what I've said about,
because Chicago's having a fire sale on quarterbacks, and they want us, and we already took Josh Rosen, so clearly we want another sorry quarterback.
Okay, can I? No, this one was suggesting for the Dolphins to find a way to trade Tua and then sign Kirk Cousins as a free agent.
Kirk Cousins. Okay. All right.
That's from a story in The Athletic. Next question comes from the Nautical Hippo. Thank you, Nautical Hippo. In my opinion, Philly collapse was worse. Do you guys think the chase for 2,000 yards for Tyreek
cares
affected the growth?
Worse. Dallas's collapse was worse.
As I continue, do you guys think the chase for 2,000 yards for Tyreek affected the growth and development of the offense?
They have the number 1 offense in the NFL. And if Tyreek hadn't gotten hurt, he probably would have got 2,000.
And the question would have still been whether they could have come up against
the growth and development. Whose growth and development are we worried about? Because last I checked, Jalen Waddle became the first 1,000-yard receiver for 3 straight seasons in Dolphins history. And realistically speaking, Devon Achane set NFL record for yards per carry. Raheem Mostert set touchdown records, became a 1,000-yard back for the first time in his career. And so, okay, we're worried about whose development. Braxton Berrios, Cedric Wilson, Chase Claypool, Robbie Chosen. Who else is on that receiving unit? Oh, River Craycraft. Whose development are we worried about? Eric Uzakama? Oh, Durham Smythe? Julian Hill? Like
the issue, there was one issue with the offense, and it's very clear. Is
what is that issue?
Performing against good teams, basically.
All right.
And it's got nothing to do with Tyreek Hill and the person. As far as the collapse, yeah, Philly was 10-1 and was looking like they might be headed for a second straight Super Bowl, and it did go south. And yes, I do think that's a worse collapse than the Dolphins.
Worse collapse than Dallas?
Dallas beat Detroit in the next to last game to clinch the number 2 seed.
Okay.
To me, it would be Philly, Miami, and then Dallas.
I mean, okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, Dallas. Come on, Dallas.
From where though?
Dallas was Super Bowl contenders. Nobody was talking about Green Bay. I didn't think about Green Bay, and Green Bay just waxed them. That score was quite deceiving.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I saw the game, and it was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Dolphins will wish they could put up that many points in a blowout.
In any game against a good team. I'm sorry. Marvin Romero, thank you, Marvin. Coach was hurting at the end, shows he was not happy and does not want to relive it. Expect change. I'm not sure to expect massive changes.
I ain't expecting no change. If Vic Fangio wants to be here, he's going to be here. Vic holds all the cards. He could pull a Chan Gailey if he wants to. Who knows that whether or not he's happy and likes it here. From what I understand, I don't know if this is true. His girlfriend's in California. Vic could just pick up and decide he wants to go coach the Chargers. Vic can do whatever he wants to do.
Yep.
That's why Ronaldo Hill is here. So.
Yeah, and McDaniel not being happy about it. Yeah, of course not going to be happy about it. And he's going to say all the right things after a loss, and so it's not going to.
They share the same agent. They're Vic. You know how Vic operates.
Oh, that's right. That was their connection. We trying to the connection.
You know how Vic operates. Vic does what Vic wants.
Oh. No, I'm laughing because Omar, I know you're gonna love this question from Don Shula 73. Looking at the 2024 schedule.
Are we talking about the throwback jerseys? I saw Joe Shad, our wonderful friend Joe Shad. You might as well just write a damn column about it, Joe. Go all in and write a column. Throwback jerseys need to be the jerseys for the entire season. Let's do it, Joe. Let's go for it.
Okay, let me read the question. Looking at the 2024 scheduled opponents based on this year's teams, any initial predictions on difficulty of schedule? I know you love that question, Omar.
Yeah, and you know what my answer is going to be.
I know exactly. No, I know your answer was going to be, and mine's going to be different. Go ahead. And yours is everything.
Anybody can get you on any given Sunday in the NFL.
And my answer is going to be the schedule change. The team quality changes from year to year. And so right now it looks difficult by the time we get to this. Like this year, for example, heading into the season, Dolphins had the second toughest schedule. And based on the results of this season, they wound up having like the third easiest. So you just don't know how it's going to play out.
I never pay attention to none of that crap. It's you never know. You could go into a game and like what was it? Was it 2008 or 2016? Everybody's like, oh, every time you played a quarterback, every time you played a team, the quarterback was injured and out. I forget which season it was. Like injuries is going to decimate a team and change the complexity of what that game looks like.
I think it was 2021. Actually, they played like 5 straight games against a backup quarterback, and you don't know. Logically, for example, next year they're playing at Green Bay, and Green Bay, considering how stupidly young they are and how good they're looking right now, that logically figures to be a very tough game. San Francisco's coming to Miami. That logically figures to be a tough game. But again, from one year to the next, You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Pagan.
We love you too, Mike.
Love you guys. Love your coverage. Love this team. This season hurts, but I'm looking forward to next year. Go Fins.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it too. I'm very curious to see what that roster looks like, because the way that I'm looking at it right now is going to have to be filled with 1-year players playing for the minimum, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But how do you build with that? You better hope you got a hell of a draft class. 10 rookies coming in that actually contribute. And they're not Kindle.
Last week's episode showed Rick reaching behind his back after plays multiple times, but kept playing. Yes, he played, but wasn't Rick of weeks 1 through 10. I don't disagree with that.
I did love the episode, the part of Hard Knocks where he's telling Raheem, "We need you. There's a game, we need you," and that's true. And considering what he's played through for his team, and he is a captain, I mean, you got to play. If Tariq says, I need you, you got to play. Now, anyway, I'm not going to say anything because we'll get into our fourth fight of the day. Rock'em Sock'em Robots again.
Trey Hendricks, thank you, Trey. Love the podcast. Questions for both of you. Has a player or coach ever walked out on you mid-question? I guess that's referring to Mike Tomlin when reporter brought up, Mike, you're in the final year of your contract. Bye. No, but I was not on my question, but I remember one time it was Ricky Williams, and Ricky, who had no patience for mundane football questions like.
You mean mundane? Any football questions?
Well, no, but he could, if you get.
Which year was this of Ricky?
Towards the end, so 2009, 2011, maybe.
Yeah, the last 3 years or 2 years he was here, you couldn't ask Ricky a football question.
No, but if you asked him something like, not how important is it to establish a running game. So anyway, the question was, and this was actually a good question. It was, was on the verge of reaching 10,000 career yards, and the question was, how meaningful would that be to you? And he literally goes like, "Okay, I'm done," and then got up.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay. Ricky's done that multiple times.
But it was that's a completely legit question. I mean,
no. Ricky wasn't answering any football questions. Ricky spent the last 2 years not talking about football.
Okay, but here's the thing. Asking Ricky how meaningful would it be to reach 10,000 career yards? You can shake your head all you want. That's my point. Is it's a completely legitimate question.
Yes, and he spent the last 2 years of his career. Ricky acted like he was a prisoner with the Dolphins. He was just playing because he owed them money, and it's very interesting to see how his life and career has wound up.
Yeah, now he likes talking.
Yeah, and you couldn't talk to Ricky if you wanted to talk to Ricky about holistic healing, crystals, herbal medicine, yoga. Whatever. He would talk to you DIY projects. He would talk to you about anything. Minute you wanted to talk about football, conversation over. You didn't know.
And he also had a point because there was a period of time when he completely refused to talk, and the PFWA got involved, and it was like, "Oh, he's talking."
Yeah, and I never supported that. We threatened to fine the man because he wouldn't talk to us. Seriously? Come on. Seriously. Are we really that batch of assholes? I never supported that, and I would never. If you don't want to talk, don't talk. Same thing with Jalen Ramsey. You don't want to talk? I don't care. Don't talk. Do we have to have Jalen Ramsey talk to us? I despise that. We're gonna take money out of their pocket because they don't want to talk to us. For real?
Except, see, I agree with you. If it's regular stuff, if there's a news element, you can shake your head all you want. But the reality is, we are conduits between fans and the players.
We are.
there could be certain news circumstances where fans want to know what the guy's thinking, and this is where then the guy is like, he's not even cheating us, he's cheating the fans.
Okay.
Certainly not to ask Jalen Ramsey, like, how tough is it to cover CeeDee Lamb?
Do you want to shadow CeeDee Lamb? Like, come on.
That's correct. I get that. But if there's something that happens, I can see both sides.
Yeah. If you cost the team a play or fumble the ball, okay, cool. Like, let's talk. Let's get you to address that. Hell, give us a statement. I'm not getting a guy fined $10,000 because he won't talk to the big bad media. Like, no. I refuse.
Okay, let me bring back Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. Donation on behalf of Two and On. Thank you.
Yeah, we need. I know they had a death in the family, but we need the voice of Two and On.
Several months ago. Yes,
I know, but they still haven't done any videos. I know it's hard, but we need Two and On back at full strength.
That gaming dude, how can Tua get better at extending plays? He looked magical versus Arizona. Also, how can he get faster at reading defenses? I'll address the first one.
I saw what you did there.
You what?
I saw what you did there. Your Freudian slip. How can he get fatter?
Did I say that?
Two and On is watching you.
No, that was a complete slip up.
Hey,
I'll take care of
they showed one clip of him in Hard Knocks, and I'm like, them thighs look really thick, man.
Oh yeah, no, good.
But he's thick. He is.
How can he get better at extending plays?
I don't want my quarterback running and scrambling. I don't, and I've always been like this. And if you're an athletic quarterback and you want to run and scramble, listen. If you're not built like Josh Allen, nope. Sit your ass right there in the pocket.
Or Lamar Jackson.
No, not even Lamar Jackson, because he spent the last 2 years injured.
It's a major element of an offense for certain teams. For example, Jalen Hurts actually is more effective when he's running all over the place than when he's being a pocket passer. But he's not going to get better at extending plays.
Poupard says trade for Jalen Hurts.
No, I wasn't.
No, I mean Justin Fields.
No, I've never said that. I never advocated for that. Tua looked great in the open field against Arizona. Again, that was 3 years ago, and
I can't even remember that game.
I remember
it was one of the best games.
I remember very well because absolutely was one of his best games, and to me, it completely silenced this excuse that was used for him of like, as a rookie, of he's coming back from the hip injury. Look at that tape and tell me that's a guy who looks like he has any issue with the hip. Give me a break.
The one thing I will say about
Omar, hold on a second. Okay, go ahead.
The one thing I will say about Rex Ryan's commentary is I do remember when the draft process was coming out, and I know exactly where he got that comment from, because I'm pretty sure I talked to the same person. There was concern that Tua would suffer. The thought process was he's not going to get to a second contract because of the hip.
Mm-hmm.
Now here we are 4 years later, the hip hasn't been an issue. So that conversation should be deaded at this point. But then everybody, in football world, all it takes is one bad hit.
For anybody who maybe hasn't had anything.
Correct. You're right.
But the idea that that's why he doesn't have great mobility, that's just completely ridiculous. He's not mobile because he's gotten very thick on the bottom. And you want to address the other part?
Lying.
Sorry?
I said Poupard is not lying about that.
I'm not lying. You can have the other part. I know you always how can he get faster at reading defenses, Omar?
Time, experience, comfort in the offense, better weaponry.
So in his 11th year in the NFL, he'll be really fast.
Yeah, just like Drew Brees. It'll be like this.
In his 11th year? Okay.
Same thing with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It'll be rapid fire. I mean, this is only his second year in this exact offense. He'll be better in the third year. Doesn't necessarily mean he'll be elite.
Reading defenses is fourth year. He's been in the NFL 4 years already. Come on.
Comfort executing the offense.
That's not the same as reading defenses.
He's phenomenal at reading defenses. Phenomenal. It's just part of his superpower. Like, why are you are not gonna snarky chuckle.
I am gonna snarky when you throw out over the top hyperbole like this. Omar, propose already. Please. Propose.
No. There is no proposal. He's not been an elite quarterback. There's no proposal. But come on. It's one of his.
Can we please stop with the
It's one of his benefits. We're gonna have a Tua fight on this one. We're not. I'm not. Like, you could say whatever you want about his arm, his lack of mobility, his durability. You can have it all. He can read a defense very well and executes the offense very well. Now, do they show up against elite teams? No, they haven't.
And why might that be? Is it strictly because of maybe perhaps issues reading defenses, getting off the first read? Come on, man.
How about your playmakers can't get open? That's why. Show me your playmakers getting open.
That's why they don't.
Show me your playmakers getting open.
Okay.
Against those wonderful elite teams. Show them to me.
I know possibly can't be anything that he's doing because they wouldn't. No,
yeah, it's always about him. It's always his fault.
You're joking, right?
No, I'm serious. Everything is always his fault, which is fine. That's what comes with the position. You get paid $50 million. By the way,
Omar, you're telling this to the guy who was actually on his side, saying that the end of the KC game wasn't totally on him, and you were putting everything on him.
You talking about the first KC game?
Yes.
Yes. It's because you have the opportunity, and I don't give two flying figs that two receivers in the same area. Was that the game? Or no, that's Eagles game. No. A misaligned snap. Who gives a shit? Was it in your hands or not? Like,
the Cedric Wilson mix up. But see, you're not being consistent because now you're saying that when they mess up against good teams, it's because the receivers aren't getting.
No. What I'm saying is it's all heavy as the head that wears the crown. If you are the quarterback who wants a $45 to $50 million contract, you should be elite, and you should be carrying a franchise. He's not. He hasn't. He didn't.
You're not getting an argument from me.
Yeah, so when you do it, you could ask for it. Like, have I shied away from telling you, like, hey, he's fallen short of meeting my expectations. If you want that elite status, and he does want it, bro, you gotta put the team on your back. You be like, hop on. Ain't nobody hopping on.
Dude, yeah, okay. I think we're in agreement.
I have not shied away from saying that. Like, do I expect it? Yeah, but every damn big game, I'm like, okay, let's hope this is the moment. Let's hope this is the time. Keep falling short.
Okay, I would see now we're in agreement. K-Dove, do you think if we didn't have a 2K goal, Tua would have developed better chemistry with other wide receivers?
Didn't he ask this question already?
No, it wasn't him. And it asked a little bit differently.
No, Tua worked with, and this drove me nuts during training camp, where he's working with every slap Richard receiver for all of camp. Like, Tua didn't work with Tyreek and Jalen. Tua worked with every gosh darn body, and everybody worked with everybody. And so there is no excuse why he doesn't have chemistry with everybody. So don't think that this was, they were only going to feed Tyreek, and because they fed Tyreek, they didn't have chemistry. No. One, you produced the number one offense in the NFL. And I don't want to hear anything about the opponents or whatever, not. You produced the number one offense in the NFL. Like, this whole, Mike McDaniel needs to be taken, play calling needs to be taken away from him. The man had the number one offense in the NFL. Like, half the league is like copying stuff that he's doing, but he needs to have play calling taken away from him. What sense does that make?
And my answer to that is, as I said before, Tyreek, more than any other player, is the one who makes this offense special. So you're going to feed him a ton. And then the second guy in the passing game, who again stands out and helps make this passing game special, is Jalen Waddle. So those are the guys you're going to focus on. And if that affects the chemistry with guys like Cedric Wilson, Baxton Berrios, Chase Claypool, Robbie Chosen, River Craycraft,
Eric Uzukama,
Eric Izukama,
Chase Claypool.
so be it.
Yeah.
I mentioned Chase Claypool.
Oh,
Ohio John, thank you. How would you grade this year's roster that Grier built? A top offense and strong defense as season went on. Injuries are out of his control. I appreciate you guys grinding out constant content.
Okay, let's grade this offense. Quarterback roster, yes. Quarterback, I thought Skylar Thompson was a mediocre backup. Running back, definitely give them an A because there's so much depth there. Chris Brooks was a great find. Devon Achane, sensational rookie. Wide receiver, gonna have to give it a C because all of those backups were just booty cheeks. Tight end, pleasant surprise with a B. Huh? No?
B for me on wide receivers.
B for you?
It was very, very, very top heavy, but you still have the two BB guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No. But I'm just saying, like roster building, like one of my biggest disappointments this season is Braxton Berrios. Like, where were you, bro? What did you do?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, I don't recall him dropping a pass.
Okay.
I don't know how many times his number was called, and they wound up having to look away from him because he couldn't get open. Was it strictly a case of opportunities? I don't know.
Offensive line. I mean, there's nothing that you could say about them that I wouldn't give them an A. I mean, all that they've gone through, all that they've endured, and even just the way that it was built with Isaiah Wynn. Like that thing was humming when they were all healthy,
and they had decent depth over there. I mean, again, with all the injuries that with Kendall Lamb, Eichenberg became a very solid backup. Robert Jones was a solid backup.
Defensive line, meh. I mean, except for the two defensive tackles, it was all right. Pass rushers, they just ran out. They ran out of pass rushers. They just and cornerback. Booty cheeks. Secondary booty cheeks. Man.
We're talking roster building here. We're not talking about.
Okay, so who's buildable on that roster?
He was talking about for this year. He wasn't talking about for the future.
Yeah. Okay. So who's buildable?
Well, you had first of all, you had like a stud starting cornerback tandem with Ramsey
absolutely.
and Howard.
No question about it. No question.
Okay. Eli Apple was even though I know you're going to dump on him, he was a longtime NFL starter who they got like in June.
No comment.
Cater had a very good rookie year, took a step back as in his second season.
A step back. A step back.
Harsh. We have a right to question Cam Smith. It could have been just a case, and cornerback is one of those positions. Sometimes it takes a guy a year before, it clicks. Hopefully that's was the issue there. I don't think it was nearly as bad as you make it out to be. And then safety, I said Deshaun Elliott was decent for the most part. Javon Holland's a good player. And Brandon Jones a good backup. So I think the roster they built was pretty good. Again, was it good enough to? Obviously, wasn't good enough to, succeed at the right times.
They ran out of gas at the end of the season, talent wise. It is what it is. 360 Fishing Nation says Big O says Finns are forced to extend Tua because that would allow them to restructure the current fifth-year option and save $20 million against the cap. True. No, you're not going to restructure him and save $20 million against the cap. At the most, you could probably save maybe 15. Because what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to average out what that signing bonus is by the length of the contract. And let's just say, and then put in a base salary. The base salary is probably going to be in the realm of $2 million. And then the signing bonus, if it's, let's just be conservative and say it's a $40 million contract. Signing bonus probably $30 million over the span of, well, let me look at some of these other guys. I'll go to Jalen Hurts' deal.
Okay, and while you do that, let me make a big picture point here. They're not forced to do anything, but
Yep.
yes, in terms of cap space, it would help to extend Tua as opposed to having play on the 5th-year option because that carries $23 million, and that's all cap space.
That's correct. It doesn't hurt. It definitely doesn't hurt. I can't see what Jalen Hurts' signing bonus was, but it looks like it's a ridiculous. It looks like $103 million, which is crazy. There's no way Tua's getting $103 million signing bonus. Let me look at Justin Herbert and see what his signing bonus is. Signing bonus was. And the reason why, oh, damn, he got $115 million in the signing bonus too. Shoot.
Oh, I don't know where you're looking. Signing bonus for Jalen Hurts was $39 million.
Fully guaranteed. Signing bonus. Herbert's received a 16.12 signing bonus. So wait a minute, where are all these prorated bonuses from?
Signing bonus and Herbert's $51 million.
All right, this requires more research. Sorry, can't do it right now.
No, that's fine. And let's move on because we're going on an hour here. We want to take care of the
questions.
And
yeah, but the most you could save on a probably extending him as opposed to the 5th-year option for $23 million is probably around 23 minus 8. What's that number? 15. So probably $15 million.
K-Dov, thank you. What do you think of Grier's response to, does he view his rebuild a failure at the presser? Grier, let you guys be the judge.
Let you guys be the judge. He basically said I had to continue and extend my rebuild because I've had an insubordinate coach. So you're calling him a C?
C minus. C minus.
Oh, you're grading his response as a C minus?
No, I'm grading the rebuild.
Oh, the rebuild has been trash.
Well, it's 4 straight winning seasons, but 0 playoff wins.
Oh, okay. All right. What was our goal?
At least a playoff win. I mean, Jesus. And again, remember the ammo they had? They had 3 first-round picks in 2020, 2 second-round picks, 2 first-round picks in 2021, 2 second-round picks.
You know what they all develop into? Expensive players to resign.
Yeah, but if they're complete ballers, that's fine.
Yeah.
Is there a complete baller among the group? If you look at those nine premium round picks.
Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Chris Grier is going to fix it.
There you go. Chris, is Tua in the top 15 of NFL QBs?
Well, that's going to be a whole All Dolphins podcast because Poupard has said he's going to produce his top 15 quarterbacks and see where he ranks Tua.
Is he top 15? I would think yes. I would say he's top 15.
Yeah, you put him top 15. You put him top 10 before last season.
Well, no, what I had said, I believe the exact way I had phrased it was I could see clearly. I don't remember if it was 9 or 10 QBs who were better than him, and then I was okay with anybody else wherever they wanted to put him, like between 10 or 15. But now there are a couple of guys who have moved. Like right now, I put CJ Stroud ahead of him. And yes, I know it's only one. Yeah, I don't even think there's a debate there.
One season.
Yeah, one ridiculous ball out season. There's going to be NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ahead of a wide receiver who set the rookie record for receptions and yardage. That's how good CJ Stroud was.
He took down Jalen Waddle, huh?
He did.
Yeah.
Nakua. Yeah, that dude can play.
Devin Jordan asked, I agree 100% to run it back with Tua and McDaniel. I mean, like, is that a choice? Is that an option? But do you feel like everything has to be perfect around Tua in order for him to succeed? They already have top 5 wide receivers, and now we need a top 5 tight end too. Okay. This is like the lazy man's narrative, so I'll let Poupard have it.
Is that a very impolite way of calling me lazy?
No, you're not. You one thing you are is not lazy, but this is just continuing to be parroted around by everybody. Like, oh, everything needs to be perfect around Tua for him to succeed. Okay. I think he produced a winning record 2 years with a lot of adverse
Oh
situations.
God, we're gonna go with the one loss record again for quarterbacks. Okay, here's what I would say, because there's no like such thing as everything perfect around them, and if everything is perfect for one guy, everything's not. It's all about degrees, and it's all about how often you succeed. I do think that Tua needs more support around him than a lot of other quarterbacks in the NFL. Absolutely, without question. And if Omar has an issue with that, oh well.
I don't necessarily think he needs more support around him. I think he needs more talent around him in terms of better receivers, other than Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
You mean than other quarterbacks? Isn't that what I just said?
You're saying that I think he needs more receivers than other quarterbacks?
Than a lot of other quarterbacks. For example, let me go back to my analogy last year or last week, I think it was. Tua needs a better car to be a great driver than the Patrick Mahomes, for example, than a lot of other quarterbacks in the NFL who can still drive very well with crappier cars. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to compare Tua to Patrick Mahomes because
he's one guy. He's one guy. They're to me, and again, this is where
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Okay, who else is a better driver?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I have to go through the list of teams here. Yes, Justin Herbert. I'm going to say it. I'll save everybody the suspense. Yes, Justin Herbert. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers if he comes back.
I forgot Joe Burrow. I gave you
Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud. I'll still say Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh, Trevor Lawrence.
Even though he didn't have a great year.
Oh
yes.
my God.
Yep. Herbert, Dak Prescott.
Oh, Dak Prescott over Tua. Okay. Because he can scramble? Can he get a little wheels?
He has that to his game that Tua doesn't. Right now, I'm not so sure I wouldn't throw in Jordan Love. Definitely Matthew Stafford. Derek Carr, maybe.
Damn, you got Derek Carr over Tua? Wow. Okay. I'll see how you do it.
Thank you. Bengals have had great success with Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. Thoughts on drafting a stud wide receiver in the first or second this year? Really enjoyed your articles today.
I would totally support that as opposed to a tight end, but nobody cares what I think.
Okay. Well, okay. Christian, thank you, Christian. If Armstead retires, do we go free agency, draft, or current roster for his replacement? I don't know. You can go free agency. They're not going to have a ton of money to go big fish chasing.
Hey, Kendall Lamb's out there available. Has been half the season at starter.
Well, they have you resign him. He's another free agent.
And he ain't coming back for cheap money. Yeah.
There's nobody on the current roster who could take his place because Kendall Lambs would be the ideal guy, and he's also a UFA. So draft, I don't know. They're drafting 21st in the first round unless you get a first round pick. Or
there ain't gonna be an offensive lineman down there. So
no, correct.
Not a left tackle.
And then we wrap it up with Drew with just a donation, no question. Thank you very much.
Captain America, Drew.
And looks like that's it.
I love the Drew. I love Drew saying Ethan Bonner. We got to get Ethan Bonner in the race. Loved it. See, you got to use that as one of your top 10 moments. Give Ethan Bonner a little love.
CM Punk,
are you crazy? Come on, CM Punk. Like there are 45 players on the training camp roster right now. I have no idea who's going to play left tackle, when Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are going to be back. Who's your starting center? I can't do no early prediction of nothing. Come on. I can give you an early prediction. They're going to purge their roster really, really, really hard just so that they can actually sign players.
16-1. How's that? I'm playing.
16-1. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we have to know what they're going to have, and also understand that you're going to start the season without Bradley Chubb, without Jalen Phillips. What are you putting on your head?
My daughter's little bow.
Oh, got it. Looks very cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going on an hour and 10 minutes. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody who showed up. Let me make sure that Omar, what's the intro song? I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's just our intro. We do have intros and outros. I know people, we had them, made them, and then we lost money using them. So we stopped using them. So, but this is alive. So I'm not really worried about it. Omar don't want his QBs playing football. That's not true. I just don't necessarily need my QB to be scrambling all the time. Back when in the Tannehill era, I always said Tannehill was at his best when he scrambled for first downs 2 to 3 times a game. The same applies for Tua. It doesn't necessarily mean I want him running. I didn't care about Ryan Tannehill, so I would.
What's about how many? I believe the. Oh, there you go. Hold on. Toby, Flores' records last 2 years, 19-14. McDaniel's record first 2 years, 20-14, with much better talent. Who's the better head coach, not coordinator?
Who's the better head coach? Clearly, Mike McDaniel.
I'm sorry, did you say clearly?
Yeah.
No way, clearly. No.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Absolutely. Okay. No question.
Okay. Well, I could not disagree with you. To me, could not disagree more. When you say clearly.
Tell me why Brian Flores was clearly a better coach than Mike McDaniel, because Mike McDaniel, last I checked, Mike McDaniel led two teams to the playoffs, 2 injury decimated teams.
Again with the injuries,
because it happened,
dude.
It mattered.
Look at the records.
Okay,
not Flores' fault that it's 10-6. Wasn't
tell me a record that Brian Flores' team set.
What is that? What's that? Big whoop! They spanked Denver. They had better and the point that Toby makes is very, very good. That the talent on the roster is a lot better now than it was in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, but they intentionally made the talent bad. So
Brian Flores could coach defense like a mother. I mean,
and Mike McDaniel can coach offense like a mother. I don't believe Brian Flores ever had a top 10 defense.
Why is it never shows up in big games though?
It's still where did Brian Flores' defense rank? Not top 10, but he could coach it like a mother.
Name the talent that he had compare the talent he had, Omar. Compare the talent that he had compared to what they had this year. When at one point you had Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Zach Sealer, who was basically a Pro Bowl level guy. I mean, and Javon Holland. Flores never had that kind of talent on defense. And if you can argue that, I don't know what to tell you. But since you asked the question, rankings, defense, regular season in 2021, Dolphins were 15th in total defense. And in 2020, I think they were in the neighborhood. No, they were 20th, but what they did is they got takeaways up the wazoo. If you recall, in 2020.
Okay, man.
They had 29 takeaways in 2020, which led the NFL. So,
not good defenses. Sorry. And he damn sure could.
They led the NFL in takeaways in 2020. They had like 6 defensive touchdowns or something along those lines. You're going to tell me it wasn't a good defense because they gave up yards? Come on, man. Oh, Omar, I don't know about you sometimes.
Okay, listen, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
Do you think this offense is too complicated? This is a good one. Do you think this offense is too complicated for free agents or draft picks to get in their first year? Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I said,
Absolutely.
Man, we have disagreed on this episode probably more than we have in a while. I say that crap is overblown like crazy.
Bro, Achan was like, yeah, took me forever to learn this thing. And I'm pretty sure he still doesn't know.
Sure, it looked like he had major problems with it.
Bro, he's a running back. That's the easiest position you could actually play. This is the play. This is the hole. Okay.
Pretty much, exactly.
Yeah.
And ultimately, and you talk
receivers,
to players,
tight ends. I remember Jeff Ireland. It really educated me on why it takes a tight end so long. Now it didn't impact Sam Laporta, but they got a lot to learn, a lot of jobs to do.
I agree, but the dude asked about free agents as well. I think this notion of like,
yeah, Cedric Wilson took him 2 years to learn the offense.
Every team, and this is not just me talking, it's players and coaches who will also say this. Every team uses kind of similar concepts in one way, shape, or form. A lot of it is terminology. A lot of it is there are some nuances, and it's just McDaniel also himself saying this. Nobody's reinventing the wheel here.
Larry asked this question about 16 times, so let's address it. What does it take for this team to get to the next level and to win a playoff game with the cap situation this offseason? Go ahead, Poupard. He's going to say, get a new quarterback.
I'm going to say
he's going to consider it, but he's not going to say it.
No, I'm going to say they need for the offense to get more physical, and they need to get better quarterback play against big opponents in big games.
I'm not objecting to any of those answers. Tua got to play better in clutch moments. Flat out. You did that sometimes this year, you would have had a different outcome. Now, would you have won a playoff game? Probably not, because of injuries. But it's your complexity of the season looks completely different than what it ended as, and it ended looking like booty cheeks.
Oh, and by the way, since we're talking about this, I want to address something that was pointed out in the comment, and it was actually a good point that somebody was railing at me because I kept mentioning Tua's record against playoff teams, pointing out the fact that I've often said that, to me, putting everything on the one-loss record on quarterbacks is ridiculous. So very good point. The overall writing point is he has not generally played well. It has contributed to the losses, but there's never any loss that's on Tua. I'm not going to that point.
Walt Dog 1234. Now I know your passcode, Walt. Says, read my comments, please. Let Wilkins walk. Okay. Cut Jeff. Who's Jeff?
Wilson.
Jeff Wilson. Okay, easy. Cut Sanders. Okay, need a new kicker. Cut Long. Okay, you lost your leading tackler. Cut Riley. Okay, you lost your backup linebacker, possible starter. Cut your backup cut your backup quarterback. Cut Emmanuel Ogba. We know that's going to get done. Cut Baker and cut X. Restructure Ingold, Ramsey, Hill, Armstead. You're not restructuring Armstead. You're not restructuring Chubb. And sign Josh Jacobs. You don't restructure the injured players, and you don't restructure Armstead, because when you restructure, you're committing to further the contract. And this is the last year you're actually committed money to Armstead, so you can get out of it, next offseason. Yes, you're going to easily restructure guys like Ingold, Sealer, Durham, but it's not going to get you real money. Ramsey, you restructure, it's going to get you real money. Hill, you give him you're not going to restructure Hill. You're going to give him a new contract. You're going to add years to his deal, keeping him the highest paid receiver. I've broken all this down for you people, and you're in my head. But the way you cut all of those players. Okay, if you're going to let Wilkins walk, you're probably letting your most important leader on your organization walk, the tone setter for your entire team. That could become troublesome. If you want to do that, cool. Then who do you replace him with? And then, yeah, Jeff Wilson, easy target. He's not even the number 3 back. Easy target to move on from. Sanders, okay, high salary, but that's probably why they signed him to a new extension. At this point, with Long's contract, your leading tackler, he's at a bargain. I don't know what he finished rating-wise. Not that I even care about Pro Football Focus rating, but David Long had a pretty respectable season. And Duke Riley is a bargain compared to what he contributed this season, so that's a dumb move. Would I cut or shake down Mike White? Probably.
Yeah, but dude, you have to spend some money for a backup. I mean, come on.
Okay, then I give him a multi-year deal at $3 million a year as opposed to $4 million a year. What is Mike White's options really?
You're going to go through the trouble of that to save $1 million? Really?
Yeah, I am. But because it's not just $1 million, it probably, if I extend it a couple years, it becomes 2 or 3. I'm a person, and I said this last year. I would have drafted a quarterback last year. We
talked about Hendon Hooker. I know.
Yeah, I'll draft a quarterback this year and make him the backup. Because truthfully speaking, if Tua goes down, is Mike White saving your season? Are you investing in a future starter? No. So I'd rather do that and do it on a cheap contract. Give me a quarterback in the 3rd round. Good to go. Don't know who, don't know what, but no.
I'm not going to go. I'm not even going to dive into what happens if Tua gets an injury and Mike White has to go in there, and this notion the season goes up in flame. I'm not going there. And that was great to say when the offense was completely humming, and would the offense have been that much worse with Mike White in those games when they struggled?
All right. On that note, it was.
Hold on. No, there was. Answer my question though.
I mean, nothing was good. So.
Okay, that's my point. So, okay. Kid, I'm rooting for Chiefs or Bills. I have to me, it's very, very easy. It's the Bills. I mean, all the way for multiple reasons, including my CFS. Chiefs fatigue syndrome. What?
Go ahead. Answer that question. I'm reading a question I don't
understand.
Yeah,
no, correct. So Bills all the way, and I have some empathy for a team that's they've never won a Super Bowl. I think at this particular point with the teams that are left, if I had my druthers, it would be a Buffalo-Detroit Super Bowl.
Detroit. Buffalo, Detroit. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Dan Campbell, Lions have never won the Super Bowl.
No, thank you.
No.
I'm very confused by this. Maybe you can explain it to me. If exposure leads to expansion, what does overexposure lead to?
Overexpansion?
I have no idea what that means or what it's about, or I don't know. Wow, you people are really ruthless.
What happened now?
No, just I'm looking at some of the comments and the stuff. I listen. I don't get into people's baby mamas or paternity tests or whatever, all that stuff.
We don't do that. We got a couple more here we have to address. Johnny Pope, thank you. Wilkins is team's emotional leader. Also grab opponents' junk every chance he gets. Says a lot about this team. LOL. What are they? A team of junk grabbers? Is that what you're trying to say? No, I don't think they need. I don't think they're going to, or should they let Christian Wilkins walk? Yeah, but he needs to cut that out with the junk grabbing. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Whoa, Guillermo Araujo. A big fan of Tua, but I've not watched football for very long. Would Baker Mayfield as QB have won the playoff game against KC?
No.
Offense probably would have been better.
No.
I don't know that they would have won, but I think the offense would have performed a little bit better.
No.
No. What are you trying to say? No?
No.
Dude played very, very well, actually.
Yeah, because Mike Williams, what's his name? Which one is it? Receiver?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. Mike Evans balled, man. Ball.
You mean other than the 2 drop passes he had?
Still ball.
Evans didn't ball. It was a tight end who did a lot of the damage.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let me look. Mike Evans 3 for 48. Yeah, the tight end. Otten 8 for 89.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Then again, that Eagles defense couldn't tackle my 2 teenage kids if they tried. That's some bad stuff. Nope, that one we already did.
Damn.
Okay, one note, Omar.
Eagles were 0-9 on 3rd downs. That's pathetic.
Oh,
Anyway.
they were horrible.
All right, fine folks. We appreciate your time. We will be back tomorrow. Doing what? I have absolutely no idea. Maybe Poupart is going to produce his top 15 quarterback list, give you official ranking of Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, no. Maybe I don't know. It's a no-win situation. And you know what? If I do that, you sure as hell are going to do it too.
All right.
I do that. So we'll come up with something.
All right, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Why not?
Visit alldolphins.com for the latest news, analysis, and columns, and it's all free. You can find Omar Kelly and Alan Poupard on the All Dolphins podcast discussing South Florida's NFL team on YouTube and anywhere you find your audio podcasts. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share so you stay in the know.